It blinks, sparkle appear, and they disappear after a few seconds. You see sparkles and they disappear after a few seconds. So how you can create this effect? Let me show you in this video. Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you how you can use the blinking event in order to create kind of a response to this event in Spark AI Studio. So blinking is very popular. It's an event that occurs when users blink with their eyes, and when this happens we can trigger a certain animation or something that happens after the blinking takes place. So in this particular tutorial, what we're going to do, I'm going to create an effect that once user blink with their eyes, what we're going to do, you're going to see some sparkles coming out from each eye. It's going to be a simple effect. For this we're going to use particle system for the sparkles. We're going to have 2 of them for each eye, and then we're going to apply the blinking recognition that will then be connected to making the sparkle particle system be shown for each eye. So user blinks, particle system is visible, the sparkles are shown for a short period of time, and then like this for each blink. Alright, so let's start and see how we do this. So the first thing we need to do is let's start with the particle system. So we're going to add for each eye a particle system. So to do this and position it properly, first we need to do is go here, add object, and then here we're going to add, if I add a face mesh here, it's going to add, Spark AI system going to add face tracker automatically with it. So you're going to see face mesh, insert, you see both face tracker and face mesh were added. I'm just using here in order to better position the particle system relative to the user's face, and then I'm going to either remove it or just make it as a retouching effect later on. So again, under face tracker, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create and position a particle system. Again, you can also do it like this, add particle system. Now because I'm right clicking on face tracker, it's going to position the particle system underneath this node, the face tracker node. Particle system. Alright, this is the first one. Let's call it left sparkle. It's going to be left side, but it's going to be for the right eye. You can call it right if you want, if you consider this right side and this left side. Okay, wave 1. So we're gonna, what I'm going to do is going to create the first one, and then I'm going to duplicate the second one, because if I create both of them now, I need to adjust the properties for each one, and because those are going to be the same, I'm not going to create a second one here. I'm just going to create the first one, and then I'm going to duplicate this one and reposition it. So first reposition it. So I just pause because it's easier for me to control and move this here. So what I'm going to do also is going to change temporarily to local, trigger this so we can clearly see it. So what I'm going to do is just tap here, move, and then I can change the position of the particle system pivot point emitter. The emitter is the part that actually emits the source where the particles are coming from, and I'm going to position it near the eye. Now I don't actually want it to be coming from a single point, so I'm going to change it here. As you see in the properties, I'm going to change to point to line. If you see, this is too long, you see, because the particles are coming from like a line like this size, so I'm going to reduce it a bit. Say, then I play it in order to see. Yeah, it looks nice. It looks okay. It looks okay in terms of size. In terms of size of the line. Yeah, we can change it a bit later on. Once we have the image ready and everything, we can further adjust that. All right. So we have sparkles. Now I want the sparkles to come out towards the user. So like in the previous tutorial, what we need to do is click this rotation, and then we can rotate it like this using this arc. As you can see now, the particles are facing the camera and will come out like this. That's what I want. Nice. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change back to world, because I already use it in order to get a better positioning of the particle system. So this is fine. Changing back to world. World means that the particle is now moving relatively to the world and not relatively to the element itself. So because the element is a child and the particle system element is a child of the phase tracker, if the phase moves, the particle system moves, and the particles themselves will move also relatively to the phase tracker because it's the parent. So that's not what I want, so I'm setting it to world. Alright, let's continue. So right now I want to assign this sprite that I already imported. I want to assign it to the particle system. This will be the particle of the glow effect. So what I need to do is click here, and then on the right side on the particle, left sparkle. On the right side we're going to see all the properties of the particle system, this specific particle system. And then we need to go to material and click the plus button to create a material. This material will be for each particle. So we're going to call it, let's call it single particle. Okay? You can call it anything you want. And as you can see, it also changes here at the top. It's the same name. Now, what I want to do is to assign an image to this particle. So I'm going to texture here, and then click this button, and then choose. It's going to show me the list of all the textures that I have, and I can see sparkle here in the list as well, because it's available under the assets, under the textures folder. So I can tap this one. Now I can't see it right now because it's not playing, but if I'm gonna play it here, I'm gonna click the play button, you can see the sparkles are coming out. See? It's cool. Alright, now what we want to do is, now they're just coming out straight. What I want to do is make them kind of pure, like they're sparkling. Alright, so what we're going to do next, speed I think it's alright, I reduced it a bit. I'm going to add, I can do a lifespan, but I think shorter lifespan will be better, so it can appear like it's sparkling. Let's see. I'm going to change the opacity. As you can see, change the opacity here to make each particle. Now it's less transparent. I think this one looks nice. About 80. Alright, going back to the particle. Lifespan, let's put it a bit less. 0.5. Yeah, now it appears like sparkling, right? Nice. I can now add more birth rate, change the birth rate so more of them will appear each second. We're going to do 40. Let's try 100. A bit too much, right? 50. And change variation here percentage to 30%. To be 30%, either 30% less each second or 30% higher rate. Nice. I'm going to increase the opacity, I think. Yeah, I'm going to put it higher. Nice, looks good. Looks nice. Cool. Now we can also change the color. So if you want just to change the color, we're going to show you to do this. You just go here to the material, back to the material that represent a single particle. Material for the single particle. You can just go to color, and then we can change the color to something else. You can do it yellow. You can do it. Now if you want to combine colors, I'm going to show you also how to do this on the way because it's very simple. So this one will be like white, alright? If we want to make multiple colors, we can just go to this left sparkle. We can duplicate it as it is, right click, duplicate. Let's call it left sparkle 2, alright? Yes. Alright, so this is the second one, and it's just a duplication of this one. So what we're going to do is create a different material for this one. Now we have this material, single particle. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call this one single particle white. I'm going to duplicate it, right click, click duplicate, and call this one particle yellow. Alright, now I'm going back, clicking this particle again, left sparkle 2, and I'm going to use another material for this one. It's just going to be with different colors. I'm going to click here, materials, and choose single particle yellow. See? Nice. Now it's still not yellow because we need to change the color of this material to yellow. So we can double click it or click it here, just one single click here, and it's already white because it was duplicated, so it's the same as this one. It's still white. And I'm gonna click here and choose a yellow color, the color picker. Now you can see I have both white and yellow sparkling. Cool. Nice. Alright, so what we need to do now, let's say that we're going to stay with this one. Of course you can play with it and get something that you feel that looks better, but I won't spend more time on this. So what we need to do is have both of these particles available also for the second eye. Now I could have just made one longer one, but I just want to show you, if you want to do something separate for each eye, how you can do this. I could just make the line longer so it appears like this width. We're gonna click this one and then Control on Windows or Command on Mac, and then holding the Control button, tapping with the left mouse button on the second one. Both of them are chosen now. Then right click, choose duplicate. Now both of them were duplicated, as you can see. This is 0 and this is 3. Those are duplication. Those are chosen, those were in the first place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose the new ones and rename them just to be clear which one. This one, I'm going to call it right sparkle. And this is the second one, and double tapping, right sparkle 2. Alright? And now I can reorder this because it's not correctly ordered. Well, so I can just drag it, the left one here, and I can drag. Dragging is done by just left clicking, holding, and then releasing where you want. You see a line, the blue line, this is where is going to be dropped. And just arranging it right here, left here. Nice. All right. Now they're in the same place, so I need to move them. The right one should be, I'm going to pause it for a second. Right one is going to be on the right side. So again, I'm control, left click, choosing both. Now this is set to rotation. Now I need to change it to move. So you're going to click this one. Let's size this a bit. And then I'm going to move. You won't see the particle moving because now they're related to the world. But it's okay because all you need to see these arrows in the central position where it's located. So I'm moving it to the right side. Now I'm going to use again, show the face mesh so we can see it relative to the face. Choose the right again. See, it's not positioned right now because if you do it relative to this image, it's going to be misleading. So I'm going to position it here. Alright, so I'm going to position it. Again, I'm rotating to see the exact location, which is where I want it to be. And this one is it. Like so. If I play it right now, let's play it. You can see, and let's hide the face mesh because I don't need it. Alright, the right one's on the right, the left ones are on the left. And now they are constantly active. So we're going to stay with this. Now they are constantly active. And oh, actually I wanted to do something. Let's go back to the particle system. Now that I made a mistake. I want to add something, and I want to show you. Actually, I forgot to add spin. So right now, because I've already duplicated, I need to change properties for each one. But there is a shortcut to do this. What you can do, if I want to apply a spin right now, for example, for each one of those, and there's our 4, I need to go to spin, change it here, go to the spin, go to particle, spin, change it here, but I want to do it to all of them, right? So all I need to do is just, I'm going to tap this one, hold shift, tap the last one, and choose all of those particle system. And now what I can do is, if I change, I go to particle, extend it. If I change something right now, once all of them are chosen, whatever I change here will apply to all of them. And all of those things that you can actually apply to all of the selected particles actually appearing right now on this right. As you can see at the top, it says multiple objects. If I chose just one, you can see that the name of the particle system appeared. But if I choose 4 of them, you see multiple objects, right? So what I can do now is put a spin, let's say for 10% to 70%. All right, and then I'm gonna try it out. We have this effect. Now it's constantly active, as you can see, and this is not what I want. I want to appear only when users blink. So we can do this. Well, what we're going to do is go to the patch editor, which I introduced in the previous video shortly. We're going to go to view, and you can click show eye patch editor. We're going to reduce this size a bit and extend it. You can just drag, tap and drag. All right. And here, what we want to do is add a blink event. So what we're going to do is type a right click and then type blink at the top. And as you can see, you get blink. You see, and blink captures blinked eyes using data from face tracker in the scene. And the outputs are the face with the eye gesture that you want to track. Sorry, this is the input, and the output will be a pulse that's triggered when the eye blink. So when the eye blink, a trigger will happen, and then we can create a response based on that trigger. So we're going to add it to the project by clicking Add Patch. Now, Add Patch alone doesn't work because we need to add to let SparkAI know which face we're going to track and use to recognize the blink. So we actually need the face. The face is in the face tracker. We need to drag the face tracker, tap and drag to the patch editor. We're going to position it here. And then you see the top arrow. This outputs the face. So what we need to do is tap and drag and connect it to the face of the blink node. Now the blink node knows where to recognize the blink for each face. So this is the first face. So now it's connected properly. Now this will be the pulse one. So what we need to do is, once we have a pulse, and it happens, the pulse happens every time users blink with their eyes. And when this happens, what I want to do is show the particles, all of them, for like let's say 1 second, something like that. All right. So to do this, we are actually controlling the visibility of the particle system. So let's go to the particle system, and you can see we have something that controls the visibility. Now another option that we have is to actually control the birth rate. So if we reduce the birth rate, we're gonna to 0, we're not going to see the particle system. This is something we can do as well. But for this demo, we're going to use visibility because it's different than what we did in previous video. So we're going to change the visibility. To do this, we need to add visibility for each particle into the scene. Now, instead of this being what it is, we're going to input the value. So to do this and add this to the patch editor, we need to click this arrow. Just put the arrow, the mouse arrow on this, it's going to turn yellow, and click it, and it will be added to the patch editor. We're going to do the same to all the others. We're going to go to this one, tap this one, go to the third one, tap it, edit. Because we want to control the visibility, we're going to add the visibility of each of our particle system here. Now as you can see, they are default because I chosen to be active. Visibility is now on, so all of them are visible. I can actually click here, you can see, and hide, make it invisible if I wanted to. Alright, so I thought about 2 ways to do it. I'm going to show you one way, simple way to do this, and this goes like this. So what we need to do is add, right click, write SW, switch, choose switch, double click it, and we're going to add a switch. Now the blink sends a pulse, which we're going to connect to on, turn on. This means that when user blinks, it will turn on the switch. It will send, we're going to turn on the switch, and then an off pulse will be connected to each one of those nodes, which tell it to be visible. If it's a boolean true, it will be visible. Turn on, connected, it will be visible. On, turn on all the visibility of all of those particles. Now this means that when users blink, it will turn on the visibility of all particles, but it will still be always visible, and that's not what we want. So what I'm going to do is add a new element called delay. Right click, on the canvas of the patch editor, write DE, and at the top you're going to see delay. Choose it, click add patch, I'll double click it, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it, instead of number, change to pulse. What I'm going to do here is when we get a blink pulse, I want after 2 seconds, it can be a different number, after 2 seconds, turn it off. Alright, so let's take a look what happens here. So a blink takes place and it sends signals to both of those boxes, delay and switch. First one goes at the same time. First one goes here and it turns on the visibility of all of the particles. Now at the same time it goes here to delay, but it doesn't turn it off. The pulse doesn't turn it off immediately because it's delayed for 2 seconds. This means that this one turns it on, and only after 2 seconds a pulse is triggered to turn off. Use the turn off on the switch to turn off the visibility of all of those particles. Now let's take a look how it works. Now the women will blink. You can also see it here how it takes place. A blink, turn on in 2 seconds. You see? A pulse was emitted after 2 seconds. Let me do it 5 seconds so you can clearly see it. Let's wait for the first. Now you see the blink pulse goes to both of them. It's turned on. 5 seconds, look at this here. After 5 seconds, a pulse emits and it turns off all of those. I'm gonna just do it for 2 seconds. So what do we have here? Particles appear when the user blink and then turn off after X amount of seconds, in this case 2 seconds. Nice. So that's what we wanted to achieve. It's a very simple effect, nothing complicated. There are different ways to do this, by the way. For example, in one of my filters, I actually extended the duration of the particles and gradually reduced the birth rate. So it appeared gradually. It was really nice effect. I actually did it in code, but this is something that I will teach you. I teach you how to do it in later videos. So this is it. Just go over again so you can understand the process what we did here. We added particle system under the face tracker, so the particle will move with the face. We position particle system for each area that you want, each eye. We duplicated the particle system to create another version of each particle, and then apply a different color for each pair. One was white using one material, second one with a second material which just uses a different color. Shift click or using control if you want to choose one by one, or if you want to choose many, shift click, shift and left click on the mouse button to choose all of them, and then apply value that will change your value which will be applied to all of those particles. Then we use the patch editor. We dragged the face tracker here. We added a blink trigger into the patch editor, and then we connected it to what's called switch, and then we connected those nodes by just tapping on the arrow and connected to the input arrow to the other node. In this case, this implementation means that when a blink takes place, a pulse is emitted. We're going to turn on the visibility of all of those particles. Again, these yellow ones represent the property which we exported using tapping this arrow for each one, and then it appeared in the patch editor. So it turns on the visibility of all of them, but in order for the visibility to turn off after a certain amount of time, we created a delay, a pulse delay node, which also accepts the same pulse as the original blink, but we delayed it in X amount of seconds, in this case just 1 second, and the output was connected to turned off on the switch node, so it turns off the visibility after 1 second in this case. So that's it, that's enough for this video. I hope you understand it. If you have any questions, please post it into the description of this video so I can answer you as fast as possible. Again, more videos are coming. I'm doing my best to improve in each video. These are the first actually tutorial that I do for Spark AR Studio, so just bear with me a bit. I try to improve in later videos. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell button if you want to get notified when I release new tutorials for Spark AR Studio. In future videos, I'm going to also touch on more advanced topics and coding. Actually, coding is the part that I enjoy doing the most, using scripting, using JavaScript, because for me it's very easy to create more complex and advanced logic and interactions using scripting. And actually most of the things that I do in scripting rather than in a patch editor, but some of the things are quite easy to do in the patch editor, and they don't require any programming language knowledge to implement it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next video. I haven't decided yet what I want to show you, but it'll be something that you probably be interested in knowing. So make sure you visit my channel and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.